blessings involved, contracts. Welcome back to Pisces TV with Dr. MB. This is a reading for Pisces. Sun, Moon, Venus, and Rising, wherever Pisces may fall in your chart. If there is Pisces in your environment, keep in mind tarot is entertainment. If it does not resonate with you, feel free to check out other videos on my channel and other aspects of your chart. All of my returners, I appreciate your continued support to me, the channel, and to each other. And all of the newcomers, we thank you guys for stopping by. I hope you stay, subscribe, like, share, and comment. I appreciate reading them. In the description box, there's a lot of information. My online store, our membership platform, and a link to my new vlog. So if you're interested in any of that, just take a look in the description box. My email address and how to find me online is there too. Here on YouTube, we have the store, the winter wear, a membership section, and the infamous community board where everything is located, all of the products and specials close up, any contests that I have for free readings, easy to register. Just go to the community board and check out the flyers. We're going to get started with the reading. And I have the Magician. It was so beautiful. Okay, I had to put on some lipstick. I was just like, okay. I like it. I like the Wild Unknown. You know that. I like the cheetah. Okay. I like the infinity symbol. I love that the cheetah stands on the pentacle because it's grounded. I love that. I like that the wand is laying down. And I like that the sword is up. Communication, intelligence, boundaries, wit, magic, energy, concentration, and focus. Attention to detail, right? Because it's like my hands are on this pentacle, okay? Could also mean a jack of all trade because we have all of the aces, okay? Action. Now, if you come asking for a win, right? The time is now. Talks about power and the mental aptitude, okay? When I looked at the Magician, I heard intuitively reading between the lines. And then I looked at the rays from the sun, or what appears to be, I don't know, what gives off light, like that, stars, light, the sun. So reading in between the lines, the rays, all right? Now, I feel that it may talk about love. And for the Magician, there's so many deep things that I never really hear talked about. Like the Magician's energy for the card itself also represents like teacher and student. So it could talk about relationships. When I see the number 1, I often think about the one, right? I joke about Neo. I joke about Trinity. And then we have Mercury. So I think that's why the sword is bigger than everything else, because this is the Magus of power. Mercury could also be Gemini, Virgo energy, deep yellow and gold. That is the willpower, the solar plexus, our strength and our power, okay? Dominance. And it's not even about masculinity or femininity. It's about power itself. Now, they say that the Magician is usually a male, okay? And if it does come up for a female, then the female has a very predominant masculine side, okay? Now, this is a bachelor. So for some of you, it's like the kings are usually the ones that are married. So when the Magician comes up, I don't think, it's you guys are married, like this is your husband, okay? The Magician could also be a group leader. So for some of you where this is like your energy, it just talks about someone who's able to create all that they desire. All right. So as we get started with this reading, it'll unfold for us. But I did ask because the Magician always makes me excited regardless of what it's about. And I was like, is this about love? Okay, it's about love. Now, if this is about love and we're reading in between the lines, now that's interesting. Because reading in between the lines can be done when you're manifesting, when you go to the other side and you're trying to bring, things out of the vortex into life. And for the Magician to be the one, it's like, what are we reading in between the lines, right? Unconfirmed. That's probably what it has to do with. For some of you, if there's a question of someone's commitment, a question of outside influences. The Magician is like an unconfirmed bachelor, like someone who could have a mindset of just not really settling down, but not necessarily a player. Okay, so it's like to match this Magician, you'd have to embody the High Priestess energy to catch their attention. Okay, or like the Hermit, someone who is okay with being alone, okay with not reaching out, okay with not talking. And for one, and I don't know if it's because I'm Pisces and I'm not like some super cool crazy fire sign or something, I don't know who does it, but I do know people who purposefully don't respond to messages right off to make them look busy. I also know people who kind of take it the wrong way if they're not communicated with properly, and usually that's the same person. It's crazy, so it's kind of like a control freak, but that's very interesting, where if you're trying to snag a particular person, and by all means, I don't condone games, but the Magician, could be a game player. And if you're trying to put it in the bag for something that you want, then you have to play the game. Like if you want to win, that's just like, I got to play, basketball to win the tournament. I have to, if I were in the industry, I'd have to involve myself in some of the strategy, to become successful. So if you feel, well, love is different, love isn't a game, or spirituality isn't a game, it's like, baby, life is a game. So ease up some if you are like that deep and that serious about it. Nothing's wrong with that. But you were guided to this reading to possibly hear that message. The Magician is usually an indication that you can meet someone new. For some of you, it could represent a karmic connection to someone new. Okay? Now, if the Lovers of the Wheel of Fortune comes out, or the Six of Cups, we'll see. And if you're already in a relationship, it can indicate that your relationship will find a mental spark that will elevate the relationship to a more spiritual and exciting level. See how we move through the levels? So that's why I'm like, it's all good. Everybody calm down. Now, I got the Fool at the bottom of the deck. Don't mean nothing, because I just shuffled out a card to see what we'll be talking about today. And the Magician came out. Now, crossing the Magician, as we get started, like I've said for the third time, we have Temperance. Could be a twin flame situation. Could also talk about alchemy and chemistry, which are strong, beautiful, powerful, major arcanas here together. And I totally love it. It's fire and water, like I said. Didn't I say that? I said, I don't know if because I'm a water sign and a softie. And some others are just, I don't know. It's not that they're cooler or hotter or whatever. I think the ego, and a lot of personal, I don't know, maybe time gassed them up. I am not sure why some would look at water as, maybe because it's water, but some would look at water as chill and fire as in caution or danger. But it's like, man, I've met many water signs that will run circles around a fire or put it out. You feel me? But Temperance does talk about karma. Could be a karmic situation. But again, it talks about chemists. And crazily, I talked about the Magician being like the student-teacher energy. Temperance also talks about teaching and educators. So that's why it's like if you're to eat now, we'll see whether the cards come up. But it's kind of like some of you may have experienced some things in the past, and like learning from those experiences, I'm nudging you and gently reminding you of something, how something turned out in the past, what you've learned, and how not to do it this time. Others of you, this person could be coming into your life to teach you something. But it talks about harmony, serenity, and calm, okay? And balance, and the moderation of your temper. So any of you dealing with fire, Leo, the strength card, because that's when I think about temper. Ace of Wands, King of Wands, because I know a lot of you pull your own cards every day. and you know yourself. Okay, so something to balance out to your temperament. Maybe you even doing that for some others. And this food, look, and this food card is still at the bottom of the deck. And here's this wand laid across the bottom. Here's this fire laid across the bottom. This bird could represent the air. And then we have this green a little bit. I could just be adding it on there. But you have all of the elements that the magician has. And then here are similarities in that card. But it's like, I'm looking at the chakra colors. I'm looking at the solar plexus. And the solar plexus is kind of like, the heart is more the center. That's green. I get that. And that's green. It's in the center. But there's something about an alignment too, I feel, which is kind of cool. Now, if this is a lesson and it's not negative, you could have ruined some relationships in the past, or they could have ruined them. Who knows? But you learned something, and you probably said that you would do something differently next time, or that you wouldn't do that again. And so if there is a lesson in that reminder, or if there's a lesson to be learned by this person, we'll see what that is. I did see came back out. The Knight of Swords. To chill. To be cool. How you think. How you perceive. And to not put too much pressure on it. The Knight of Wands definitely talks about thinking and wish fulfillment. Wish fulfillment with the magician is cool. Balance, alchemy, and chemistry. The chemist is creating something as well. So maybe taking your time and not rushing a situation to allow the chemistry to build, especially if this is for new relationships. Because in rushing, you could play husband and wife or expect too much from someone too fast. And that could be an issue. And even though this isn't the Page of Swords, fools rush in. Damn, is that why we keep saying a fool's card? Fools rush in. So allow things time to unfold and manifest, because it does talk about quick, moving fast, impatience. For some of you, it also asks you to be fearless, brave. See, we're all on different cycles, because all of these cards so far have mentioned the energy of the Strength card. They've all kind of counteracted each other, because this is a quick thinker, a quick doer. This is a balance. This is like everything. You know what I'm saying? And then when I talked about wish fulfillment and reading in between the lines, these cards are all different, you see? So it's not like all of them, has like lines in particular. That's our Two of Cups. But reading in between the lines is to not particularly look at the black ones or the white ones, like in the Justice card, the gray areas, okay? It also talks about, like I said, adventure or being daring. So, and what you need to know, for the most part, the Son of Swords, I feel that there's a gift for some of you guys on the other side. If you're the one, even though I asked Swords, and it's like this is about love, but there is a gift for you. Reading in between the lines, paying attention to synchronicities, and using what you got for now to get what you want, or to get where you need to go, is just part of the plan, that things will improve, okay? So, in the past, if this is a past life relationship or situation, we do have the Lovers. That's kind of cute. The Lovers, more rays. And look how the Magician has, the lower region. Temperance has them all. So that's like Source. This is the reconciliation. So for some of you guys, this is a rekindled kind of thing. And it may not even be from this life. So don't get worried and say, I ain't taking none of them back. It could be a lover from another life. And then look, here is the Daughter of Swords. Here is observation, being teachable, being a listener. Somebody who also kind of lies and could be sneaky and exaggerates, but at the same time expands. They have a very big mind, very creative, and it's kind of like someone who has a high capacity. So what we talk about, look, and I was just going to say it, where we talk about the Page of Pentacles is like high potential. The pages often represent the essence of the energy unfettered. So I get excited when I see the Page of Wands, because it is the power of the King and the Queen of Wands, but without the strength, without the experience, without what the world did to it, the just pure power. So that's kind of cool. And we keep talking about this sword. So some of you, it's like, watch what you think, because what you think, thoughts become things. So be mindful of that. Gemini is in the Lover's energy. And so it also talks about the North Node. We are coming up on the, what is that? What is Temperance 12? I just be making up numbers. It's not. But we're coming up on the 21st. We've been talking a lot about that. The Lovers is here. Something manifested is here. And then crowning your thoughts, oh my gosh, you have the World card, the number 21. Some of you guys could be thinking about what's coming toward you. Notice I mentioned the infinity symbol on his chest, and I was thinking about the Chariot, where the Chariot has the emblem, but the cheetah has the infinity symbol. Here is the Pentacle. You just saw the Ace of Pentacles when I talked about expansion. So Jupiter, gift giving, receiving, and here is something coming toward you with this Pentacle. Could be a commitment. And it talks about timing and things aligning with the Seven of Pentacles. So it's like, wait and be patient. Or do I take action? For some of you guys, it's a question. Now with the Magician, I got 2 twos. We got 2 Pentacles. We got 2 swords. So we didn't get the 2 wands this time. Okay? But there's a decision being made. Someone's probably thinking about something. If you wonder, what's on their mind, because this is thinking, right? And it's like you may wonder what's on their mind. Look at this. They're thinking about, I feel, something that may have ended in the past. You could be thinking about something that may have ended in the past, to pause communication, to get their thoughts together. So just be mindful of that. This is the ideal situation for some of you guys with this 10 of Pentacles here. And in the environment, we have the Mother of Cups. So it's asking you to be very nurturing, very forgiving, very caring. I know we're not all like that. And as I looked at the 4 of Swords that I just saw, I do see 4 birds, which does talk about victory and choice. What you choose to create, okay, from this situation. When I said read between the lines, I was hoping that would come back up, because I thought about the 9 of Swords, which is usually the in-between. So we have the Magician. Look, oh my gosh. So here's Strength, right? Here's the 2 of Wands. And notice the Strength card has the infinite symbol too. All right. The Magician, when I said read between the lines, in your hopes and fears, here's reading in between the lines about a situation that could involve lovers. It did come back up. All right. So I don't know if some of you guys are online wanting to find this person online. Hold on, wait. But I feel a level of completion. So a choice is made. Silence is broken. But there's this energy of reading in between the lines. Is there someone who's not talking to you? Or is there some information that you're seeking? Taurian energy, where we have the bull, it talks about death of the ego. So reading in between the lines could also be for someone who's quick to jump the gun in their thoughts with the 2 of Swords, and that could be the lesson. See, look, the lesson in starting shit. Talks about blocks, mental conflict or anguish for some of you guys. And let's take some clarifiers, especially for our 9 of Swords. Because the 9 of Swords, to some of you, could talk about anxieties and fears and all that kind of stuff, but it doesn't always. As the 9 of Swords is the Queen of Swords card, and it represents intelligence, it represents receptivity and receiving. It also represents the in-between, as in, the moon cycle, where it's kind of dark and kind of light, and the in-between phase of a shift or a change. Because I love the Moonchild Tarot, and it shows her as this, this lady in this black, wrapped thing with this split up the dress or the gown, and her leg is coming out. So it describes her as showing some of her, right? Allowing part of her to be revealed, but the remaining, part of her body is covered under this cloth. So some of y'all don't be hoochies if you trying to manifest a husband. Because he may be jealous and controlling a little bit, especially online. Like, kill that shit. That's funny. Look at the star when I talked about online. So it's like they're not into attention seekers, but maybe a little bit controlling and possessive. Or maybe you are. Anyway, that's funny. Don't try to control the situation. Your subconscious is like in the environment. There's something in the back of your mind, and I think you're trying to read between the lines, but it's like use your senses, because the Chariot comes back out, and I feel for some of you it's kind of like, don't go from something in the back of my mind, something deep in my subconscious that probably isn't even true, that is there from the past. And so we're talking about the present. Something that could be coming toward you with the Chariot is the King of Cups. And so the Mother of Cups, the King of Cups, and the Chariot, those are the two horses that the Chariot is being driven by. And so here's Source pushing this situation of the lovers where everybody's going in the same direction. And I feel like it's wish fulfillment. So have you wished? Are you hoping for are you hoping for a partner? As I explained that story, here it is, where the King of Pentacles is not you. Seriously? It's not you. This is ancestor, source, spirit, whatever, bringing this situation together. That's so cool. Or something that you've manifested. You've been guided to a situation possibly, and it's kind of like it does have something to do with being together and maybe apart. Okay? And then look at these two fives in between the story, where the Three of Pentacles is us working together. The Five of Wands, the Three of Swords that came out yesterday in, losses and outside influences. And then so here, I'm single, they're sorry, I'm on my shit. And then boom, this reconciliation. So absolutely love that. And I still didn't, okay. Well, that's fine. When I said I still didn't pull a card for the Nine of Swords, but we got the Ten of Swords, which talks about an ending with a new beginning. We have the Four of Swords, which talks about logic, resting, a pause of some sort, or recovery. And then we have the Eight of Cups. So the Eight of Cups could talk about moving into happiness and contentment from confusion, because we have to leave those Seven Cups or even the Five Cups for some of you behind. Right? The Four of Cups could talk about both of you abandoning this situation. And if you don't know this person, that's fine. They're coming towards you. It's cool. If this is someone that, if it makes sense to you, then cool too. But I'm thinking of like Four Cups, and then they're stacked in two halves. And I have, some individuals on the board here where, like I said, both of you could have let this thing go. This could involve, someone who sees you as the Empress, or, just someone you saw as the person you wanted to have a family with. And the Four of Swords just talks about peace, recovery, rest, victory, logic, being logical about the past. How did your relationships work out in the past? How did this behavior work out in the past? If you're questioning forgiving a person or starting over with something. And then here we start with the Magician. We stop with the Magician and end with the Ten of Swords. So as you're reading in between the lines, because there may be too many thoughts, too much information, and it's like read in between the lines. I don't know. That's crazy. That could be like some secret matrix message from the other side to us, honey. Because here's the Nine of Swords again, and here's the the Seven of Cups. So when it talks about endings, when I say walking out of the Seven of Cups in that Eight of Cups energy headed to the Nine of Cups, it could talk about multiple opportunities and offers for those of you trying to manifest, because I know exactly what that means. I do not feel that it talks about confusion. And then I have the Nine of Pentacles here again, where it talks about independence. And then we have the Sun card. So an answer that you seek, a spiritual marriage or union. This Four of Cups, right? How you felt, they felt. Because I just said with these Four Cups, in that Eight of Cups, there must have been two of you. Or a situation that involved more than you. How about that? And then there's two people in the Strength card, where here's the gentle giant and here's the, the little lady. And here's the gentle giant and the little lady, right? So don't know what that's going to get to. I see the Emperor, but we'll talk about that later, okay? As we have to get to some other readings that we're going to do for you, Pisces. This was just a bonus because I kept seeing read between the lines with the Magician. So I don't know what that means, but I'm very clear. Read between the lines. Until next time, namaste.